Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yorkie Man here. Welcome back to Season 2 of this PES Master League here with Leeds United. I know it's taken me a few weeks to get here. It's taken me longer than I wanted to. This should have been up on Friday. I did say roughly about 3 of these a week. I wanted this up on Friday, but unfortunately, I've been a bit under the weather. Feeling a little bit better now, but it is 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So hopefully this will be out on Sunday afternoon. As you can see there, Tyler Roberts now has a player face. We're on Data Pack 4.0. And they gave Tyler Roberts a face. Of all the players in that Leeds United team, Patrick Bamford, and they gave Tyler Roberts a face. I can't believe it. We haven't sorted the faces out yet. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow on Monday, is I'm going to be going through and sorting out the faces. I did have contact with a viewer, but they haven't actually got back to me with the face files and how to do it, so I'm just going to have a look on EvoWeb. We'll sort it out. Someone told me about a mega pack, so we'll probably smash that one in, and that should be all good, done and dusted. I hope you're all well. I'm a little bit under the weather, so we'll see how this one goes. I'm feeling a bit better, but the last 2 days I've just been in bed doing absolutely nothing, and it's bored the life out of me. I don't know about anyone else, but when I'm ill, I'm irritable, and I just get really bored. We've got the summer window in this one, so there's loads for us to do. There's going to be loads for us to do. We're also going to take on Wolves in the first game of the season, and I don't think we'll play Liverpool as well, because I think there's going to be some wheeling and dealing to get done here. I'm going to spend a lot of time now looking through players. We'll start off by looking on our list of what we've already got and see if there's anything there that kind of interests me. Now, if you don't remember, they didn't give us much money. We've got roughly about 14 million and 60k on the wages, on the salary, so I do feel like we could do some signings with this. We're going to have to go cheap, young, and probably players that will progress, or we'll go old players that will fit into the team. Someone who I wouldn't mind is Anthony Gordon. I wouldn't mind improving that left wing. The problem is Jack Harrison's gone back, so if we were to look at Jack Harrison now, as much as I'd love to bring back Jack Harrison and get him a player face without a doubt, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a high, steep fee that they want. Okay, so transfer fee, but the club's not impressed with our terms, so it's going to cost more than that 4.1. It's probably going to cost more like that, 4.6. So Harrison is an option. Just not sure I want to pay that for him. Let me know what you think about that deal. I'm just not sure I want to pay that for him. I think that's a lot of money. I think maximum around the 3 million mark, unless it's someone who's going to be unbelievable for us, around the 3 million mark is probably what we want to pay. We already know we're not going to be able to sign loads of players in this window, but that's kind of where I'm looking at. We could also decide on the option to loan him again. That could be a potential option, but I'm not really sure I'm too keen on that. He's 75 overall at 25, and I did enjoy using him last year, but I just feel like maybe we could get someone with a little bit more upside. So these are some of the players we currently have on our list, but there's no point looking through them like this. What we're going to do here is we're going to organise it, obviously, by transfer fee, I reckon. So we're going by market value, and to my surprise, there's some good players here that could be fairly cheap. Now, yeah, we're getting them from all over the place, and, you know, we don't know much about most of them, but some of these players could fit in really well. Like Leo Senna there, under $1 million. He'd be great. Aussie Cup would be very good for us, the 29-year-old Turk. Lots of experience, good centre mid. I think we need another centre mid. So there's some potential here for some players that we could pick up for sure. Alan here, Brazilian, 24 years of age. There is some options here. There's some options here for cheaper than I expected. I thought this was going to be really difficult. Romero, I would love. In fact, we're going to go in for Romero now. We knew last season, right? Problem is when Phillips went up for a game or Phillips couldn't play a game, we were screwed. He's the only one that can play that position and play it well and be good with the ball and pass the ball well. So let's go in for Romero and see if we can pick him up. The club are resistant, which is expected. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a release clause. So I'm going to put in a bid here of over 3 million, but I'm not quite sure we're going to be able to get him. His salary demands are too high. That is a real shame. He'd have been a huge difference for us in the club. So we continue to look. Now, it helps if we also add in the fact that do they have a release clause is something that we really need to look at. Now, Alan could be an option. He's someone who certainly can play that DM role. He's got a release clause of 1.8. Yeah, let's go in for Alan. Let's start the transfer. Let's get ourselves a Brazilian. I'm kind of happy with that release clause. It will be what wage we can pull him in at. I don't want to be paying more than 30k, but we don't need many positions, if I'm being honest with you. We don't need many positions. Now, we know with the release clause, I could probably make him happy by not paying him too much, because we know if we turn down offers from everyone, that then the release clause is kind of like null and void is what we're working on. So we're going to go with that. We'll see what happens. It's a higher wage than I'd like to be paying, but it's a position we really need. Apart from left wing and defensive midfielder, we could probably get by for another season without signing anybody else. Obviously, I don't want to do that. This young lad could be good, though. So he's got a release clause of 1.3. He's 19, goal poacher, left winger. Sulemana, I've never heard of him before. Let's start negotiations, and that would really put me in a good position to kind of say, yeah, I think we're pretty much done here in terms of transfers. Now, let's see if we can negotiate a contract, though. He does want a bit of cash, which is a problem. I don't want to be paying out loads of money, but this could be all we do, and then some sales to maybe make up some money from another player. But at 19-year-old, how he's rated already, could be very good for us. So DM and left wing, obviously, we've got to replace Harrison, and we didn't have a good enough backup. The rest will just be players that we'll get if we, you know, if we can. I'd love another Cam, because I think Pablo's getting on a bit, and Rodrigo plays well there, but he also plays well up top, and the interchange there isn't great. And as much as I like Bamford in real life, we're probably going to have to let him go because he's not very good on the game. So when we look at the team and who we might potentially let go, I tell you one of them won't be Robin Koch, because the centre-back partnership of Koch and Llorente was brilliant last year. We got Phillips, we got Click, we got Pablo. I don't want to let Pablo go. I'll probably let him retire because of his market value. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I get nothing out of that selling him. Same with Ayling and certain players down here. Stuart Dallas is wanted, and with De Bock coming back, we still have Alioski. I'm a little bit tempted to sell Stewie D, so we'll have a thought process on that. Helder Costa, for me, I'm going to add instantly. It just wasn't good enough for us last season. Just wasn't good enough, and unfortunately, I'm going to add Patrick Bamford. He could yield us some decent money, and Ryan Edmondson's the future. We've got Rodrigo there, and then Ryan Edmondson, so he's the future. Pavada's still not come of anything, but we're going to give him the opportunity. Again, there's certain players here that if it's not a worthwhile fee, we're not going to let him go. I forgot we get Leif Davis back as well at 65 rated. He, for me, is not a Premiership quality player, but maybe if we're forced to use him, we will do. We've got Alioski and De Bock will be the starters, so I will let Stuart Dallas go, but not for those terms. We're going to renegotiate this, and I want some more money. I want at least over 2 million here, potentially. He's valued at 2, but I don't think we'll get that, so we'll go to 1.5, and we'll see what we can get. So we've only managed to skip forward a day. Let's see what negotiations we've got. There's some talk there about Pablo, and it's just scouting. He's just scouting. I hate it when it comes back for that. It said there was a negotiation. Some talk here, Pablo Hernandez to be transferred. Now, that won't be something that's happening. Does it usually stop for just scouting? It said there was some negotiations. Let's see what we've got on the scouting list. The scouting in this it's a great idea. I love it. It's just not very good because these just aren't really players we'd go for. They're just not very good. So that's our problem. I mean, Salvio, maybe we'd go for. He's 31, but he's probably a really talented player, depending on how much he was worth. I mean, you're looking at high wages, so no, we probably never would go in for him. So just a little bit frustrating. The scouting is good. It's cool where you can set to scout. I just don't think it's perfect, but moving into a New Year's game could certainly improve. Obviously, as well, with this episode, I'm not going to be doing all the business. We'll probably only make the 2 transfers we've done and then see what budget we're left after we move a few players on. So it's your guys' opportunity, really, to give me some players that you think would fit the team, but that we can afford as well. I will look back at the last episode as well, so don't worry about that. I'll look back at the last episode and see who was on the list, but Callahan as well, actually, they're going to Arsenal. But you've got to remember the pricing of players in this is a bit funky, so you'll have to bear that in mind. Do we have some transfers back now? We do. Let's look at our team first. So Stuart Dallas, 1.5. The transfer's been negotiated and finalised. We're happy with that. We'll accept that for Stuart Dallas. Great season. Enjoyed using him, but for the wage we were paying and for the player that he is and for the amount of left-backs we've got, I don't think we need him. We've still got 3 left-backs, even though we let him go. Now, Now, negotiations have both come back and terms can be finalised on both players. So we're going to get ourselves a Sulemana for 1.4 million basically, and he's 19 and already 70 odd rated. So that for me is a steal. Doku on the right, him on the left. We've got Rafinha as well. That is a steal. He can play up top as well. So we'll accept that one instantly. I'm really happy with that deal. I didn't expect to be getting a player of his quality. Hopefully he'll grow a lot the more we use him. And Alan as well will be our replacement for Calvin Phillips when he can't play games, basically. We're not replacing Calvin as if he's not going to be here. We just need somebody else in that position from time to time. So we will accept the deal there for Alan. And that will be all the transfers that I make. With 12 million and 25 on the salary left. We will see what happens now. Remember, loan signings is an option for us. I don't like using loans. I've always been that way out, but they are an option for us. We will see, though, who we can sell off now up until after the Wolves game, and that's when you guys come in and give me more players to sign. So as you can see here, I believe this is Alan we're introducing to the training ground, and he's going to have a long, successful career here. The Brazilian, he's meeting Stevie G in his tracksuit. The rest all suited and booted. And we're happy. We're excited to have these two new players joining the club. So 78 rated Alan comes in. And 77 rated Sulemana comes in. And I'm really excited about this guy. Ghanaian, he's quick. Goal poacher. Left winger. And can play up top. Which is what really excites me. I'm just excited to see what his future brings. For me, I would love to know... Oh, he's got some good skills as well. Chip shot control. I'd love to know how you perceive this, how you look at this and know how much they're going to grow, because I have no clue if he's a high potential player or not. I'm just assuming he is at 19 to be 77 rated and improving. You would expect that he's at least going to get to 80, which is very good for our quality of side, but I don't know. Personality, lone wolf, strength, instinct, passion. He's a passionate guy. I like that. I wouldn't mind team player as well. But yeah, so we've got those deals in. No transfers yet for us, though. So yeah, I'd just love to know how you tell if a player's going to grow a lot. Like, the box done nothing out on loan. But then Ryan Edmondson's come back a bit, an absolute beast. Pervader's improved. So yeah, I'd love to know how you gauge that. I'm sure in years gone by, there used to be stuff like, it'd tell you if a player was going to grow later in their career or earlier in their career, like an early bloomer or a late bloomer. I'm sure there used to be some mechanic like that. I'm not sure how it works anymore. I'm a dinosaur now compared to those days. I think that was like PES 4. Wow, Ashley Young has gone to Chelsea as well. I think that's a good deal for Chelsea as a rotation player. Right, so we have received a transfer offer for Pablo. Now, a key thing for me here is I'm going to look at his salary. And it is 16k. For a player that's not going to play much, is it worth selling him? I do love playing him in that cam role, though. But all he's going to do now is decrease in stats. It's just who plays in that position. I mean, we can play, if need be, we can put Rafinha there. We can also put Rodrigo there and Edmondson up top. But it's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal not having him as an option is what my big issue is. But I think it's time to replace him. I love the man. What a wonderful servant to the club he's been, to Leeds. Fantastic. But I'm going to actually accept it for the salary. It makes me sad. This is what's hard about Leeds. It's because I'm a Leeds fan. It makes it really difficult for me. But to have that salary, we can replace him, even if it's just reloaning Smith Rowe for another season, that we've got that option. Do you know what we'll check, actually? I'm going to check to see how much Smith Rowe would cost outright. Right, so it actually appears for Smith Rowe, it'd be 1.5. We're going to do this deal. I wasn't going to do another deal, but we kind of need to find someone. He'd welcome a move to the club as well. Oh, wow, we don't have to do much to convince him to come, do we? I mean, he doesn't really... No matter what we're going to pay him here, it says he'd welcome a move to the club. We're going to keep him at 10. We'll give him some of these bonuses as well. But Smith Rowe would be fantastic. He's young, he's English, and he's got a face, and he'd be fantastic. I enjoyed using him last season, so let's get him back, and he can definitely improve while he's here. We'll also now just turn the transfers down a little bit. They were only on fairly high, but... we've seen a remarkably high amount of transfers, which is really strange because you go from barely any happening on normal to fairly high and tons are happening. So I think we'll have odd seasons where we have busier transfer markets in terms of opposition teams. So let's see what they want here. His release fee was 1.9. Is this a new negotiation that they've given us. The terms have been finalised. Is now demanding a low contract release fee. Is that the release fee? We're just going to accept it. Yeah, 1.5. So, yeah, the salary's decent. The release fee's different. That's all. I'm happy with that. That's a really cheap signing for a 73 rated youngster. Someone also mentioned Pedri, but it does appear that he's at Borussia Dortmund. And the club do have a release clause, 6.2 million, but we'd be going all in on someone like Pedri. So it's an option. Let me know what you think, but it would be a player we go all in on because he's not going to be cheap. All right, so we've got some offers in. I got one for Liam Cooper. I'm just going to end that negotiation straight off the bat. There's no need for us to sell it. And then we've got Alioski and Ayling. I don't really think we can afford to let either go. Ayling, we definitely can't. And, I mean, Alioski, we could and run with De Bock and Davis, but I've not used either of them yet. And Alioski's good for us. He's only on 12. Nah, I'm going to reject that. He's not on that much money. We kind of need to keep as much of the squad together as well because... God, do I want to be working on team spirit again at the start of this season because it really gave us a rough time at the start of last season. So having a very similar squad to last year will mean that the team at least is fairly decent. Right, so we need to get ourselves set now for the opening game here against Wolves. I'm going to do a cheeky auto pick there and see what it does. We've got Rodrigo, Doku and Sulemana. And now I don't want to give Sulemana his first appearance here, so I'm going to give it to Rafinha. So we'll do Rafinha, Rodrigo, Doku. Smith Rowe will get a start, though. Allen will not. We will play Matthias Klitsch there, but Allen is definitely someone who can play in several positions in that centre of midfield, which is huge for us. God, this squad's still very small. Could definitely do with a few more players, boys, but they're going to have to be cheap ones. I mean, our backup goalkeeper's not very good either, so let's just pray we don't get any injuries. Bamford's still here, and as long as he's here, I'll still use him. And this is going to be the squad, and it's just... It's not great, is it? But this is the options we've got at the moment. This is the situation we find ourselves in. I don't want two strikers on the bench, so let's put Pervader on the bench because ideally Helder Costa and Bamford are going to go, but we could do with probably four more bodies through the door to be happy. Now, they're going to have to be cheap. Does it make more sense to go that way round? It does, doesn't it? So we'll have Rafinha on the left, Doku on the right. So we need some more bodies. They've got a strong side, as you can see there. Ferran Torres is in this Wolves side. He's not rated very well on the game, but it should be difficult. They're playing free at the back as well. Let's try and get a win opening day. The team chem isn't bad at 78. Well, here we go, boys. A Premier League season is upon us. We're still on a search for some new mods, so I do apologise that we haven't got them in for this one. But I'm excited for it. First game of the season. I've put the game on 12 minutes. I haven't played PES in literally close to like 3 weeks. Obviously, I made a video updating you guys about what was going on, about why I hadn't played PES, why I was getting the FIFA series done, and then we'll do the PES series, then a FIFA series, then a PES series. So the channel's going to go with odds and sods for videos. But let's get into this one as we keep on building leads. I would love to imagine that we could be a sneaky outside chance for Europa League this season. If I'm being 100% realistic with myself, this squad isn't that good. It's good in places, but it's a young squad. And it's a squad yet that I don't think can compete with the top teams. I mean, just look at some of the players Wolves have managed to sign. So here we go. Let's see if I've still got it. Let's see if I've still got it. I'm excited to see how some of the new players get on today when we bring them in. It'll be interesting to see if they can produce anything for us. I'm really excited about Allen and the winger as well because he looks like he could be quick. I'm going to feed that one straight into Rafinha now. Early doors. I do like an early goal. Jeremy Doku now from distance. Jeremy Doku straight at Rui Patricio. But that's not a bad start, is it? We're working on some new scoreboard stuff as well. I'm working on loads of new stuff, to be honest with you, on the mod front. I just need a day where I can sit down and do it, and Monday's probably more likely that day, as I needed to get this content done ahead of time for you with being ill. Well, notoriously, we get off to poor starts to the season, if we're honest with ourselves. But I fancy us in this one. I think Wolves have a very good side, but so do we. Go on, Rodrigo. Wants the runner. He'll hold it up well. He did hold it up very well there. Alioski now. Oh, if I play that back to Rodrigo, that's a great opportunity for us. But unfortunately, Adama was wise to it. Very, very wise to it. And now they're going to break away with Ruben Neves. We're going to try and charge players towards him. And Luke Ayling's got to do better there as Wolves nearly make it 1-0 with Ferran Torres. Well, it looks like they're going to press fairly high up the pitch here, Wolves. which is fine for me. We're used to teams pressing us. A lot of teams pressing this game. Let's fire that one straight forward to Rodrigo, who's not bad on the ball. He can't find Jeremy Doku, though, but Johnny Castro doesn't do greatly. He does enough to win the ball back, though, doesn't he? Robin Koch there now. Phillips will try and fill in the blank. Adama Traore, he's no slouch, is he? Let's not let him get it across. He does get across. Divock Origi now missing with the crossed ball. And Wolves should be 2-0 up. They'll be kicking themselves. We're leaving ourselves wide open at the back here. Oh, they've got to be kicking themselves here. And they'll pump it forward here. And they've done really well when they pumped it forward, to be fair. We could do with some sustained possession as they played good football here. Divock Origi now fires off the shot. Well saved by Meslier. Really charmed life. Really charmed life. Thank you, Meslier. That's a terrible pass from Alioski. Can't be playing with it at the back like that. Just boot it long, I think. It's a good shot there from Divock. Origi now coming forward. Finds Ferran Torres with the turn and shot. And Wolves miss again. And they must be really kicking themselves. I bet Nuno's on the sideline going mad. Wolves could have had 3 or 4 here. We've let ourselves down this game so far, if I'm being honest with you. We've not played good stuff. We've not tried to control the game, to be fair. We tried to rush our passes. It hasn't worked for us so far, so we're going to try and play a bit smarter here. That is better from Click. Alioski, though, will just run into Matinho. We should be dominating midfield, to be honest with you, in this one, with Matinho in there. Calvin Phillips now. We'll fire that one forward. I have a squeaky controller, which is doing my head in. I think I'm going to have to find a new one as Rodrigo fires off the shot. He's got power shooter. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy a new controller. One of the triggers is a little bit frustrating. A little bit frustrating. I mean, I wanted to play the ball, but he's ended up keeping it. It's not a bad shot, that, you know. Ferran Torres now piling forward. Luke Ayling can't get there. And in the end, Ferran Torres is stopped by Meslier. And boy, are we lucky. Boy, are we lucky. And our passing has been atrocious. It's as if we've got no team chemistry, to be honest with you. We're playing really, really badly. It could just be me. As I said, I haven't played in a little while as we're toying around with it a little bit there at the back. I don't like that. Mateus Click now, though. This is better play from us. What can Smith Rowe do here? He's waited for a run. He's got to try and find Rafinha, and he just can't. And that's where we've been poor. That pass in the final third, we've got into all right positions, and then we've not been able to play the pass. And that is a real issue for me at the moment. We need to fix that, as it'll be a free kick here to Wolves, I believe. No, free kick for us. Nice. Not much time left now. Doku, though, with the shot. Oh, he's at the post. Rodrigo taps it in. 1-0 at Leeds United. I didn't expect that from Jeremy Doku. What a shot that was. Unfortunately, bounces off the post, but the poacher that he is, Rodrigo, with just one sniff of an opportunity, bags a goal, and it's the first time we built up play really slow, nice and gentle passes. Good movement, and in the end, we've ended up with a goal that we definitely don't deserve. Wolves should definitely be ahead in this one, but I'm going to take it. 1-0 Leeds United here in the opening game of the season. Well, there we go. 1-0 at half-time, and it was at the stroke of half-time that we got our goal, but you'll hear no complaints from me. I'm extremely happy about that one. I really am. That is a fantastic goal as well. I just feel sorry for Doku. I wish he'd have gone in. I mean, when you look at it, it looks like we've played all right, but from the chances you guys will see, we haven't played all right. Well, let's not make the second half too tense for ourselves. What would be lovely here is if we could get ourselves another goal, and then this second half wouldn't feel too tense, would it? Divock Origi now. We wanted offside. He's going to get an overhead kick-off. The extravagant there, but we did want an offside. We didn't get it. It was nice play, actually, from them. The way they switched play was nice. You don't see that often in sports games. And in PES, they switch play really well, the AI. Adama Traore now. He's just too quick. And what a save from Meslier. Honestly, Alioski doesn't stand a chance against him. And I feel for him, but he doesn't stand a chance. So what we're going to do here is, I think we're going to go free at the back. I've never done that here for Leeds, but I think we're going to go free at the back to try and deal with him. Right, so this is the change we're going to make, boys. We're going to go free at the back. Calvin Phillips will sit into centre-back, but more advanced of the centre-backs. And I would have pushed Ayling and Alioski further forward, but if there's no wing-back role in this game, apparently. If I push him further forward, it turns him into a right mid. So I don't know why it does that. It's just, I suppose it's the game. So Smith Rowe, great match. He's had a good game, but we're going to bring him off and bring Allen in. I think it's a bit more security because at the moment, they're causing us too many problems with that front three. So Allen here getting a debut. And his first act will be close down João Moutinho, which he's trying to do very well. Could do with some help. Oh, have they let Origi turn? And we've made the defensive change, and we've conceded instantly. How horrendous is that? We've made a defensive change and conceded instantly. And I don't know how they've let Divock Origi get the ball there. Alioski and Phillips, there'll be an inquest at the back. Oh, I'm not happy with that. I'm really not happy with that, especially after we just made the change. It's just frustrating here. We hold Moutinho very well, but it's just, why is Origi given that space? And it's Llorente's mistake. Llorente gets wrong side of him, and Divock gets the goal. We're going to keep the defensive change, purely because I think they'll score more. They should have scored more in the first half. I think we're going to look to counter now, which is fine. We're not bad at countering. Jeremy Doku now tries to slip in behind Rodrigo. He is offside, though, unfortunately for us. We've certainly been matched in this one. That's not bad. Doku, though, if he can play it, he can play it. Rafinha now. Rafinha can hit him. Oh, it's deflected wide. We'll take the corner. We have fizzed it in. Oh, Rafinha was in there. Rafinha was in there. Is that another corner, or did it go way over? Went way over. All right, Adama Traore now. Up with Alioski. And this is why we brought the extra centre-back on, to have that option. Alan, will he get to it? He won't. Can we bring someone out to track down Neves? Alan will go to him. Neves is still on the floor there. Ferran Torres now. Ayling does get it out. Alan's on the ball. Divock Origi tries to come to him. This controller is awful now at the moment. Needs like a full bottle of WD-40 on it. Alan needs some more options. He's got Rafinha though. And then he tries to slide in Rodrigo. Oh, he's going to score. Just couldn't get much on it, could he? He just could not get much on it. And I thought that was the moment. Beautiful pass there. What a pass that is. What a pass that is, as Origi knocks it out, and we'll make another sub here. Well, Sulemana coming on, the 19-year-old, for his first bit of action. And De Bok coming on at left back. I think De Bok's a bit taller and more physical than Alioski as well. She's probably just a downside for Alioski in this one. He's been beaten out a few times. He really has, and I can't complain too much, though. I really can't complain too much because I'm really happy with what I've seen here. Sulemana's not been on the pitch long, and he's got it to Rodrigo, but Rodrigo didn't have the options. Luke Ayling now will try and lift that one in. He just can't, unfortunately, for us. Luckily, we've got the free at the back to kind of give ourselves that bit of a buffer. And maybe when we play against more physical sides, we'll have to go free at the back more often and see if we can create anything from this. Luke Ayling now finds Alan. Alan there, not being marked too well. Mateus Click now! That's terrible, isn't it, really? When you think about it, that's not a very good shot. Adama Traore now. Divock Origi fires off the shot. He'll kick himself in this one that he's not scored. He really will. He's had so many opportunities now as Divock and not managed to find the back of the net. But we did concede from a corner. Let's see what they can do here now. Mateus Click is in there. We've got bodies in there. Llorente's got to do better. And Divock puts it wide. Llorente again. His marking in this one has lacked. Divock Origi's getting way too much space. Ruben Neves coming off now for size. He's a threat from a corner, so I have to be cautious when any change is made, to be fair. But I just kind of feel like the game has kind of lost its spark a little bit here. And I fancy us. De Bok, I think that's the first time he's touched the ball. Doku, oh, he's smart with it. Rodrigo wasn't alert to it, though, and that is the problem when your teammate isn't alert to what you're trying to do. Alan now with Ferran Torres, though. He's having a great game, and since he's come on, we've looked very good. Calvin Phillips now up against Divock Origi. Size, who's just come on the pitch, and what a save that is. What a save that is. It's on added time. That's huge. They'll whip it in. It's fierce. Ferran Torres, he's up there. Get it out, Ayling. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Wolves will take the win here, and I don't understand why Luke Ayling doesn't clear that. I wasn't even controlling him, and he just stood still. Ah, that's so disappointing. The ball's played in. It's not a bad one. We don't get to it, but Luke Ayling just stands and watches the ball. He just stands. It wouldn't let me change to him. It didn't auto-change to him. If you watch Luke Ayling here, the ball goes up. He just stands and watches it. He could go and attack it at any point. He just stands and watches it, and there's nothing I can do about it. And this has been a really enjoyable game to play, and then it's just been soured by that moment. It's just been soured by that moment because that just shouldn't happen. We're going to be able to play in Jeremy Doku there. We're not. And Wolves will get the win, opening game of the season. Not a deserved win, and just a little bit of BS there from the game, and I suppose you can't escape that. Whether you're playing PES or FIFA this year, you're going to get moments of stupidness. I don't mind conceding the great goals, conceding one where your player just doesn't respond to a ball for, I don't know, whatever metrics determines why he hasn't. Soleimani here. Oh, he's not going to get it. Frustrating. We'll lose 2-1, in my opinion, to a bit of BS, but it's a 2-1 defeat against a team that will be very good this season in Wolves, and I felt like we played extremely well. I think we deserve to get something out of that game, I really do. I fully understand that the game is set up so that you're controlling the team, but the problem is when it doesn't let you swap to a player, it swaps to somebody else instead of that player who is closest to the air ball. And the fact that your AI, and this is you, the AI that your teammates, don't have the wherewithal to just knock that one away or at least get a head on it, whether it's a good one or a bad one due to his positioning, is just really frustrating, seeing him just stand there like, oh, no, sorry, I didn't know there was a football game going on. It just irritates me a little bit. Something they need to fix, but it's something that is a problem in both games. FIFA is dreadful at the AI making runs sometimes, at the AI making movement for you to come to the ball and to go away from the ball. And in this situation, the AI is just stuck in glue and not done anything. So we will lose our first game of the season. It was a fantastic game. I felt good. I enjoyed the match. It was good fun to play. I enjoyed the new players. I don't think we should have lost it, obviously, but it is the way it is. And I'm excited. Alan looked really good. We didn't really get to see much of Soleimani because we'd gone more conservative, which maybe was my mistake. We should have gone more attacking. Let's see who wins the player of the year. Messi. Again, what a surprise. What a surprise, Leo. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Leave your feedback on who you think we should sign, some players to bring in. Hopefully, in the next episode, we can get some wins. I really wanted to start off the league season with at least a point because we've got Liverpool, Everton, and Man United coming up now. And I do feel like we've been stitched up a little bit because when you think about the squad we've got, the transition we're going through, to think that we start our season with Wolves, Liverpool, Everton, and Man United, it's not the best of starts, is it? I do believe we'll get some points out of those games. I'm just not sure how many. Dzeko has gone to Arsenal. But anyway, boys, I appreciate the support you've been showing. I hope you're all excited to have PES back on the channel. I know I'm excited to crack on with this season and to crack on with the series. Yeah, much love. I'll see you in the next one.